What it do? What it do, man? This shit guy Mail Man. Welcome back to the Mail Man Show. My bad, y'all. I get tongue tied sometimes. But welcome back to the Mail Man Show. I thank everybody for liking, subscribing, and follow the channel and coming here to get my take on things so I can get to you from a different lens. Let's just see it in a different light. You know what I'm saying? So look, we ain't gonna hold you long. All I ask is just hit that like, subscribe, follow button. We're gonna jump into it, man. I like to give you content to think outside the box, so that way you're able to understand things in a different way, different light, and be able to achieve goals and do better with your life. So let's jump right into it, man. So look, what would you crash out for? What would be that crash out moment that would be justifiable for you? What would be that moment? Think about that, and then leave me a comment, will be a crash out moment that you think is justifiable for yourself. Now look, we down here, we going to the ATL with this one. Y'all know I'm right here in the ATL, but I don't stay in the ATL. I stay in Metro ATL. I'm not staying, you couldn't pay me to stay in the ATL. No. I'm staying right here in the Metro ATL. But we're right here in the ATL, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about. But since I'm talking about the ATL, this particular situation doesn't just stop in the ATL. This particular situation, just like many more, goes to not only the ATL, but the Florida, the Houston, really every state in the United States, but not only just the states in the United States, every place in the world, because it exists around the world. And it's one of those things that just is not going nowhere. It's all about that SEX. SEX have people going crazy. So look. Not only does the SEX have people going crazy, but it's the money that comes with it that even make people go more crazy, men and women. So look, let's check this out, and I'm gonna definitely give y'all my opinion of how I feel about the situation, man. So look at this.
Fam, what if I told you that the woman who brought you in this world would be the same woman that'll solicit your body for money and keep the proceeds and manipulate your mind because you young? Some might try to mask that, but it'll be tough. Well, I want y'all to take a look at Virginia Ann Bates. She's 37 years old from Forest Park. A couple weeks ago, she pled guilty to human trafficking and pimping charges in DeKalb County. As part of her plea, Bates admitted to knowingly harboring and providing a 16-year-old female relative and an 18-year-old female to sex buyers. Wasn't really publicly identified, but it was alleged that that was her children. One of them being the suspect in this story who caught a body at 19. It was mentioned that Bates also collected a portion of the financial proceeds from the commercial sex acts of both victims. Apparently, they recovered the 16-year-old female in March of 2023. Bates was sentenced to 40 years in prison, with the first 25 to be served in prison and the remainder on strict probation. She's also required to register as an S offender, 3 counts of PIMP and 4 counts of trafficking. The case first came to the attention of law enforcement in November of 2021 when a 16-year-old victim was living with Bates, who is a relative. Law enforcement was called to the residence due to the child experiencing a mental health crisis. When law enforcement and EMS made contact with the child, concerns developed that she may have been the victim of human trafficking. The child was taken to a treatment facility, but was subsequently ran away and was listed as an active missing juvenile. The mother, Virginia Bates, maintained contact with the 16-year-old while she was listed as missing. Bates ultimately rented a hotel room with the 16-year-old victim and the 18-year-old victim were expected to perform commercial sex acts. Bates further assisted in taking photos of the child and the 18-year-old, posted advertisement, selling them online, and received the money from sexual favors. Bates.
All right, now let's jump into this, man. Let's address this situation. Like, let me give you my opinion. It's sad when the one that's supposed to protect you becomes the one that profits off you. Like, without a mother, and I'm saying mothers only in this particular situation because story is about a mother, because the fathers are supposed to protect as well, but we ain't got to talk about that right now because we talk about the mothers. So as a mother, the mother is the one that's supposed to prevent you from going down a dead end road or a crash course path. They're supposed to be the ones that take your hand and say, hey, these are the mistakes that I made, that if I had known at your age, I could have prevented. So what I'm going to do in return for you to give you a head start in life, I'm going to educate you on what not to do as a youth and how to transition from a youth, teenager into adulthood to be as productive as you possibly can be and be a law-abiding citizen in this world that we live in. Now, that's what your mom's supposed to do. She's supposed to teach you from her mistakes and the things that she has learned over the course of her life to make you a better person in return. We're supposed to give our children a head start, as they say in life. But unfortunately, we're talking about this mother because she's the one that got the media attention so far. But this is not the only mother that does that. It's a lot of moms out here that will pimp their daughter out to get $1 because don't no man want them because they out of shape. Their body looking horrible. They're not doing nothing with themselves. Teeth effed up. Just completely, as they say, toe up from the flow up. You know what I'm saying? So the best way that they think is to lead their children down a crash course to sell their body and make them become worthless one day. Like, think about that. That's a psychological game that you playing. And in this particular situation, the woman's daughter unalived somebody. So her life is done. Her mom put her in a position to where her life is done. Because even if she get out of jail, I think she's 19. So even if she get out of jail, let's say she do 25 years. So in 25 years, she will be 44 years old, right? All right. Now let's take the year 2025. In 25 years, it would be 2050. All right. So we already see what a world of technology, AI, and all these things are going as of today. And imagine what it's gonna be like 25 years from now. Just think about that. It's gonna be as if we live in maybe in the Jetson era. Well, we probably actually will be seeing flying cars, flying over our head and hovering and so forth on. Now, I'm saying that to say this. If it's hard for a youth nowadays to find a job, to be productive in the world and make things happen for themselves at this age of 19 years old in 2025. Imagine how hard it's going to be as technology evolves. And now she's coming out into this world trying to put her stamp on being successful. The chances of her not reverting back to doing something illegal is very high. Not low, very high. The chances of her going back to doing something illegal by 2050 is very high. And the person that put her in that position still goes back 25 years in the past because her mom, matter of fact, it'll go back farther than 25 years because 25 years would be when the crime happened. But you got to go back 44 years to when she was born. And she was born into a household that was already setting her up to not be successful. And she's still living with the trauma and the pain and the pressures 44 years later. So, what is the purpose of some women being able to be a mother and they don't even know how to be a mother? They're not even trying to be a better mother. See, just because you have the organs to produce a child doesn't mean you're the best fit for that child to be successful. Some children are born into chaos. They're brought into the world without having a fair chance. And they used to try to blame that on the white man. They used to always try to blame it on the white man. And it ain't even the white man. It's the household that you're being born into that's already giving you, putting you in the red zone or putting you behind the 8 ball, as they say, because of the household that you was born in. So the question, I guess, comes like, Mel, how would you change that? How do you change that? How do you prevent that from happening? That's a hard question. That's a hard question to give you an answer to because the laws if a person has a child, they have that child came out of their mother, and law says that that mother is biologically the best fit for that parent. But as we all know, as somebody right now that might be living in an area next to somebody and they see how the mom and the dad is raising the children, and you're like, man, that's just a horrible situation. You know that that is not always a true statement. That just because a person births somebody, that means that person is the best fit for that child. That's just not the unfortunate truth. So to be able to change that, the first step you will have to change is the laws. That would be your first starting point to change the laws, because now you got to make sure that a person is mentally capable of being able to be a parent. Like, are you mentally capable of taking care of this child? Because financially does not mean a person is mentally. Yes, you do need money because you got to pay for food, clothes, housing, and so forth on all those things. But just because a person can go out and possibly get that doesn't mean that they're going to give the child the best emotional, mental, physical attention and investment that that child needs. So the first thing that should change is the laws. Now, what laws should change? I'm gonna have to probably think about that one a little bit longer to probably get an understanding of what I feel should change to make it better. But that would be your first thing to start, and that's the starting point, because it's a lot of kids that just the parent is buck wild. I did a video about, is it cool to cuss? Do you think it's cool because you got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old that's going around here cussing and saying words they shouldn't cuss, and you think it's cute as a parent? Like, you should be checking that child right then and there. But there's those parents that think it's cute and cool for that child to do that at 2, 3, 4, and then that child is 14, 15, get to the age 16, 17. They be the same parents like this woman right here that's pimping out their child. They be the exact same parent that'll pimp out their child. Like, come on, man. Where's the love, the guidance, to be a better person? You know, a mother turning her daughter into a hustle? Like, you literally turned your daughter into a hustle instead of going out there. You could have opened up a hair salon. You could have learned how to design shoes. You could have learned a lot of things. But turn your child into a hustle, that's crazy. You basically became a predator now. You know, you like that little, what's that little show, the little TV show Predator? You got the little fangs, you just got it in your blood. You're just a predator, man, on a whole nother level. And you using your own seed that came out of you. Like, how do you live with that? How do you sleep at night with that? How could a person sleep like that at night? You know, it's sad when a mother or a parent start pimping out their own child. We are living in some lost times. But the unfortunate thing about it, I take that back. We're not living in lost times like it's just happening now. The world has been lost for a long time. I don't even know what time the loss started. Did it start after they killed Christ? Before they killed Christ? When did it start? So we always say we living in bad times because we talking about what's currently happening. But unfortunately, it's sad to say this ain't like it just started in the last 20 years, last 40, 50 years. This has been going on for decades, centuries. We just know about it as far as back as our mind can remember. That's the only thing why we say we're living in bad times. But it's not necessarily bad times. We're just living with people that don't want to change their mind. We're living with lazy people that feel entitled and that they should have something just because. No particular reason, no work, no assets brought behind it. They just feel like they should have it because they want it. So I'm going to say this. Some people have lost all sense of love. Loyalty, morals, all that's gone out the window. They don't even understand what those words mean, And at a level of a woman that's 40 something, 50 something years old, and she uses her child as a bank account, it ain't no saving her. It ain't no saving her. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it might not even be no point saving a teenage child by that time. I mean, her mind is so mentally destroyed She done went from birth to 16, 17. Them ways are implemented in her. And you do feel sorry for her, but how do you change her? And my answer to that, you can't change her. She got to want to change herself. So the only thing that you can do is give them the advice, and then it's up to them to take it and say, hey, I'm going to implement this. No matter how hard it is, I'm going to figure out how to make this work for my life to do better. That's the only thing you can do. You can't change nobody. They got to change themselves. You can only provide them with the necessary information they need to hopefully want to implement it and progress to become a different person and do a completely 180. We up out here, man. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe. I left a link to that video if y'all want to learn more about the mama that's pimping out, how all this stuff gone from the guy's channel, man. He's a dope creator. Really be doing some research on a lot of these stories, man. So y'all can definitely go check out his channel and see all the full backstory of how that young lady was raised and what brought her into that lifestyle to be able to, well, not be able to lead her to crashing out and losing her life at 19. And we ain't even talking about losing her life to death, losing her life to being incarcerated for the rest of her life. All right, man. Love y'all. You got Mail Man. We up out this thing, man. Woo-woo.